Hello and welcome back to Geek and Seek. Recently I did a little bit of a deck tech for my Ramos Dragon Engine deck, and I mentioned that we would be opening today this Ravnica Remastered collector box. Wow, I can't speak. We're off to a great start here. Thank you to Wizards of the Coast for sending this to us. This isn't a sponsored video, but it's through their ambassador program that they sent us this, and that we'll be doing this today. They also sent us this draft booster box, which I would like to say for draft, I think the set actually looks like a pretty fun draft set. But I say that, and I've ended up with a huge collection of draft packs that haven't been opened yet because my playgroup primarily just plays Commander, and it's been a while since we've been able to draft. But fingers crossed, I would like to do that. So what are we hoping to open today? I would really like a lot of the old border lands, obviously the shock lands, right? But because I have the Ramos Dragon Engine deck, and I have the Maze's End win combo in there, old border gates would be cool too. And then there's not a ton of really high-end cards other than like Cyclonic Rift. So we're mostly just hoping to find fancy versions of other cards. So let's go ahead and open this puppy up. And let me know in the comments if you guys enjoy these unboxing videos. I've done a few of them at this point, but I never know what you guys think about them. All right, pack number one, let's see what we get. I'm always surprised at how hard it is to open collector boosters. I find that they're actually easier to open from the bottom, so I recommend that. All right, we got a cool little Zapperling token. Niv Mizzet in the anime full art. I don't know if these are really all that anime. Let me know what you guys think. I think they're... I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the anime art. I could take it or leave it, but some of the characters, like a dragon, like, it still just kind of looks like a dragon to me. It's interesting, though, that we have it seems we have our token and then our rare, so that's interesting. We got our Stomping Ground. Good. Off to a good start with some shocks. I didn't realize this until Richard from MTG Goldfish mentioned this, but they don't have the tap symbols on the shock lands, and that is a little weird. I don't know how I really feel about that. We have a Pack Rat, pretty good if you're gonna be playing a rat deck. I used to have a rat deck. Got Compulsive Research. Draw 3, discard 2, unless you discard a land card. I actually really like this card. I actually really like this art. I'm building a Simic Lands Matters deck right now, and I have this in there, but this art's really cool, and the border's neat, so I might switch that out. Crackling Drake, and then we're probably for the, there's a foil Guildgate. Probably for the commons and uncommons, we'll probably just kind of skim through this pretty quick. There's not really anything of note, but we should at least see if we get anything noteworthy, anything I might end up playing. Readjusting my overhead so that I can actually make sure that I'm keeping the packs in frame. Again, it's a little sus, but if you open it from the bottom like that, it's a lot easier to open. All right, do we want to do the Pokemon thing where we go like this and we throw our throw our rares to the back, make it more fun like they do in Pokemon? We got that old border foil Guildgate. That's actually really pretty. I don't understand why, like, here, like, if I grab this again, like, they don't have the tap symbols on the shock lands, but they do on the gates. I think it's because that it's implied, because here it has the subtypes for mountain and forest, so you just assume it can tap for red or green, but it's still kind of weird. And then we got another old border gate. Foil Izzet Signet, foil Farseek. So at least, like, there's not a ton of value in this set, but at least some of these cards are centered. This card's actually a pretty decent counterspell if you're doing something that has to care about graveyards, or if you're just playing a counterspell deck in general. At least a lot of these cards are at least still playable. Got a little Gabi token. Arclight Phoenix. I think it's fun that they used to do this where they had the little graveyard icon if it was a card that cared about the graveyard. It was kind of fun. Oh, Chromatic Lantern. That's pretty good. Again, not necessarily worth a lot, but very playable. Enter the Infinite. Very cool. And then Infernal Tutor. Reveal a card from your hand, search your library for a card with the same name. As that card, reveal it and put it in your hand, then shuffle. If you have no cards in hand, instead search your library for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle. I don't know, that seems, as a guy who mostly plays Commander at this point in my life, seems okay. All right, pack number 3, let's see what we got. We got another Gabi token. Are these tokens double-sided? They are, ooh. That one's got haste, it's pretty cool. All right, Bottled Cloister. This seems interesting. I've never actually played this card. I'm not sure if it's good, but okay, Bruvak. This is actually one of the few actual valuable cards from the set, because I think it's only been printed in Jumpstart or something, and this is like its first real reprint. So, but because it really only cares about mill, I'm sure it'll go down in value a ton. Got another Infernal Tutor. Ooh, Foil Nicol Dragon God. I really like this Planeswalker. I think there aren't too many Planeswalkers that are playable in Commander, but that's one of the few. Experimental one. Utopia Sprawl. Oh, I like the old border Utopia Sprawl. That's nice. Coiling Oracle. Foil Gate. A bunch of commons and uncommons. All right, moving on to pack number 4. Got another Sapling token. And then we got Taji Legion's Edge. I actually think this card's pretty cool, but I mean, there's so many Boros attacky commanders out there that's like, yeah, what separates it from the rest? Steam Vents, there we go. As many of these shock lanes as I can end up with, the happier I'll be. You never can have too many shocks, especially if you're like me and you're building new decks all the time. Lord of the Void, very cool, like that card. Got some splits. Okay, so here's the thing. The old border gates, I really like the little foil promo icon thingy. That actually makes it feel a lot more special to me, especially because it's like, I don't know how well you can tell on camera, but it's only the border that's in foil and the art's not. So these are actually really nice. If I can end up with a bunch of these for my Ramos deck, that's the goal, that's the hope. Shambling Shell. Oh, look, another Chromatic Lantern. That's interesting. We got a bunch of cards before we got to the rare slot. I never am able to memorize what all the likelihood of opening each thing is in each set, mostly because they change it all the time. I know that it says here, like, along the pack, it'll say, like, what your likelihood is of opening what, but it changes every set, and it's just not worth keeping track of all of it. All right, next pack, another Sapling token. We should be double checking that. Oh yeah, that's cute. And a foil Steam Vents, that's even nicer. I don't know if I like these more or less than the Galaxy ones. I think the Galaxy ones from Infinity or whatever are probably the best Shockland arts, but I do kind of like these, minus the fact that it doesn't have the tap symbols. It's just a minor nitpick. It's not that big of a deal to me, but it is a little weird. That's a really pretty Birds of Paradise. Deathrite Shaman. So this is the first set that they've done the old border for hybrid cards, and you know, I don't know. I've kind of grown to think it's kind of cool, but I still think it's a little weird. I'm honestly like, I like the old borders, but I don't know if I love old border on creatures because there's not very much emphasis on the power and toughness. You know, there's no extra border around it. It's like there are on like, you know, the newer cards. So that's a little weird, but I digress. So the Guild Pact. Quicken, but it's the cool foiling treatment I was talking about. Another Gate, Signets, and here's the thing, like I said, like the Signets aren't even like a card that's valuable. They're not really worth anything, but you're never sad to end up with a few more in your collection just because they're perfectly playable. I play Signets in basically all of my decks that at least are not green based. Because if you have green, you might as well just land ram, because it's like it's morally apprehensible to blow up people's lands, but you can blow up people's artifacts. All right, that's our rare. Got a Ral. I don't know if that's worth anything. I'm guessing not. The old border Supreme Verdict's pretty nice. I actually think that this is probably underplayed in Commander. I don't see it that often. I have it in like maybe only 2 of my decks, but I think it's the can't be countered clause is really nice. It is a 4-mana blow up all the creatures. I know there's a ton of indestructible stuff, and a lot of times it's not just the creatures you need to deal with. So I get why it's not maybe played more than it is, but I think it's underplayed. Mold of the Mixture is also a nice card. The Transmute, I think, is something people should be remembering and keeping in mind when they're building their decks. And then we mostly just got a bunch of random commons and uncommons, most of which aren't really playable. And we had 2 totally lost in that pack. That's interesting. Fibbleflith, our boy. So was that pack 6, 7? I've already lost track. So far, no old border shocks or cyclonic rift, so that's a bummer. All right, there's a thespian stage and that really cool foiling, so that's nice. We got a hollow fountain. Nice. Dreadbore. I think it's odd that Dreadbore is still a rare when we just got the power corrupt version of it in Ixalan. Priest of Forgotten Gods. This card is sweet. I think people should be playing this in all of their Black Sacrifice decks. And I didn't even know about it until kind of recently. So, okay, we got a bunch of random commons and uncommons. Krankos Command and Old Border's kind of cool. Golgari Thug. So there's a couple playable cards in here, but not much. So I'm always happy to end up with more Shocklands in my collection because, like I said, the only reason I don't have them in all of my decks is because they're, 10 to 15 bucks a pop at any given point. So I'm always happy to end up with more of them, but it's really the Old Border ones I was hoping to end up with some. Tidespout Tyrant. That's a pretty cool card. I've never actually put it in a deck though. Fibbleflip. Oh, look at him in the cute anime art. Okay, that's actually pretty cute. I don't necessarily love these arts. Some of them I like, but that one's pretty fun. Another Thespian stage, an Old Border, Mindless Mass, and then we're moving into the. This actually seems pretty playable. Mostly just junk. We got a Signet. Light Up the Stage is pretty cool. I do like that card. Muddled the Mixture, Coiling Oracle, Open the Gates is good in gate decks. Okay, so I guess this is actually, that was okay. There's at least some of the lower rarity stuff is stuff that could be playable in some decks. I think it's weird that in these collector boosters, they leave all of that draft shaft kind of stuff in there, stuff that like you're literally not going to play outside of draft. I think it's weird that they leave all that stuff in there. It's kind of a bummer. All right, we got Savra, Queen of the Golgari. That is sweet art. Is that new art? I don't remember that art, but got the really cool foil treatment I like. Again, I don't necessarily love Old Border on creatures, but I am a sucker for that foiling treatment. Got another Blood Crypt, heck yeah. Seal of the Guild Pact, Yeva. This is a cool card. I haven't ever actually got to play it. I've grown out of the green Stompy. This was kind of an expensive card, like 10 bucks or something, And by the time that I was, willing to pick up something like this, I don't really play green Stompy anymore, but being able to play your green creatures at instant speed is really nice. Got a cool art treatment for the Guild Gate, Lightning Helix, Compulsive Research. Yeah, look how much less cool that looks like without the foil treatment. If it's just the Old Border and not the foil treatment, it's quite a step down. Then Dead of the Deathless is actually pretty nice. That's a card that I don't think I've ever put in a deck, but I think it's worth considering for some decks. I used to have I have a Selenia Life Swap deck. This is probably okay in there. And then just a bunch of other stuff. This video is really just turned into a hunt for me to bling out my land base in my Ramos gate deck and pick up a couple gates along the way, because we still haven't even got to a Psych Rift, which is like the main hit of the set. Oh, Mizzet's Mastery. This is another card that I haven't ever got to play, but, I'm looking for an excuse. I am building a Spellslinger deck right now, so maybe finally. Hellkite Tyrant, very cool. Wow, that art is sweet. Well, that's definitely going in one of my artifact decks. That's sweet. Sword of the Perun. Rakdos, Lord of Riots. Okay, this is pretty nice. It's good in big creature decks. I don't know if I like it as a commander. Magerite Stone, very good. Boral's Guild Gate, more gates. Random commons and uncommons. Okay, yeah. All right, we got 2 packs left. Let's see what we get. Well, we've ended up with quite a few Shocklands, so that's nice at least. Like I said, can't have too many shocks, but it's definitely a bummer we haven't hit a Psych Rift. So we got a Void Slime, counter target spell, activated ability, or triggered ability for 3 mana. Me. Divine Visitation. Okay, this is I don't know if I love this art or not, but this is a really sweet card. It's always nice to get more of them out there. Prime Speaker Zagana. Got another cool treatment for the gate. And Signet, at least that's playable. Mostly stuff. Sharkta Crab is at least a cool card. I really like this card. I mean, it's not worth anything. It's not necessarily playable in many decks, but it's at least pretty neat. All right, last pack. Are we going to get anything neat? I forgot to mention in the intro that I think they have serialized cards in this set. So I guess that's something we could have been excited about, but I mean, at this point, we're on the last pack. We're not opening one. Korlov of the Ghost Council. Very cool old school commander. Definitely have thought about building this once or twice. So at least now I have a cool treatment of it. Cool new Massacre Girl art. Of all the anime ones, this is one of the less offensive ones, if you ask me. Well, really, the ones that I think are least offensive are the ones that aren't people at all. To me, it's the anime faces that I think are kind of offsetting and take me out of Magic. But this one's, of the human-looking ones, this is probably the least offensive one. We got Court of Calling, very good if you need to find your creature combo pieces, or if you just have like a creature toolboxy, whatever. I really like this card. Lord of the Void. We got Light Up the Stage in Old Border, got a Gate, and that's about it, my guys. Alrighty, so what are our big hits? Is Divine Visitation worth anything? I feel like it might be. Okay, this isn't all of them, but just to grab a few examples. So obviously, always happy to end up with more shock lands. We opened, what, maybe 6 shocks or something in this box, so that's really nice. Happy to have more of those in my collection. Again, they should be going in all 2-color decks, all 3-color decks, 4-color decks, 5-color decks. I mean, they just are that good. So to have more in the collection is obviously really nice, even though I feel like this set's probably gonna lower their value at least a little bit. Maybe not much, but I'm definitely disappointed we didn't end up with any of the old border ones. I don't know if they're like more rare than the normal frames or this full art frame. I don't know if the old border ones are more rare, but we didn't end up with any of those. So that's kind of a bummer. Magerite Stone, very playable. I have a couple commanders that really care about tapping and untapping stuff, so great upgrade. I'm probably gonna put this in my Osgear deck because it's, you know, obviously an artifact deck that cares about tapping and untapping. So, and I don't think it's ever been printed in old border before, so, and I try to put a bunch of the old border artifacts in that deck, so that's probably where I'm going to throw that. Mizzet's Mastery, don't think it's necessarily a valuable card, but it's a very cool card that I'm looking for an excuse to play, so cool that I ended up with one in my collection. Signets, quite a few of those ended up in the collection. Not worth really anything, but, you know, it's nice to, like, I think they're maybe $1 at the most at any given point, but, you know, you're never sad to have more in your collection just because they're gonna go in a lot of decks. Hellkite Tyrant, I already had 1 or 2 of these floating around in my collection. I have a couple in my decks, but this art is really cool, so that's gonna be a fun upgrade. I don't think we quite got there with these foil treatments for the gates, but we did find enough of those that I can at least start upgrading that mana base. As far as, you know, looks go, I know that as far as playability it's the same, but and then the Divine Visitation, trying to figure out what to do as far as a token deck. I think it's weird that I have so many decks and I don't really have a dedicated token deck, so I feel like this will need to go in there once that happens. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think about this set. I have kind of mixed feelings about it, so I think I would have better opinions of the set if I've, you know, had been able to draft it yet, because I feel like it's one of those sets that really is for draft. I think it's kind of a bummer that, since, you know, there's some stuff of value in here, I guess we also opened a Birds of Paradise, which is like $10, $12, whatever. But I feel like, you know, there's not a ton of value in the set. A lot of what you're looking for are the old borders or the anime arts, you know, that kind of stuff. And then there are the serialized cards or whatever. So, I mean, I think it's those chase things. So, like, specifically wanting to get a collector booster box, I think that's, you know, where the value is. But, you know, I don't necessarily know what the draft boxes are selling for, but, you know, if you can find them for not crazy expensive, I think the draft environment's supposed to be really fun, pretty well curated. So that's probably worth figuring out. You know, it's definitely a bummer that it's, you know, a higher end product. That's definitely kind of a bummer. But yeah, again, still happy to at least end up with several more shock lands in my collection. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you want more Ravnica Remastered stuff, I did a video recently where I was talking about my Ramos Dragon Engine deck, has several things that tie to Ravnica in that deck. And then we have a podcast episode where we're ranking all of the Ravnica guilds based on our preferences and what we like better. Let me know what you think about these unboxing videos. I kind of enjoyed doing them, but yeah, I'd rather, you know what you guys think. So I'll see you guys later.